Autoimmune sounds like it could be something cool, like an invisible shield that keeps you from getting hit by a car. But it's not like that. It's more like physiological self-hatred. Your body wants you dead.
Huh.
My body tries to kill me every day. I have type 1 diabetes. This is the kind you get as a kid when your pancreas just stops making insulin altogether, so you can't convert glucose into energy. And the more you eat, the more you starve to death. What can you do? Stab. I should have died at band camp. Probably would have if it weren't for all the marching in the sun, playing Hall of the Green Mountain King on my shiny flute. The thirst. The thirst. It's unquenchable and I'm choking. I have a mouthful of cotton balls dipped in talcum powder. Oh, here they come with drinks. No water, Coca-Cola. Nice and deadly. Give me some of that death juice. I slept every minute I wasn't marching, no doubt on the verge of a coma. I spent the second week of high school learning how to stab an orange with a syringe. Stab. The next morning, I stabbed myself for the first time. And ever since. Stab. Too high, too low, you're just out there trying to be your own pancreas. Wake up, pancreas. Wake up, you useless asshole. When I got home after that first week in the hospital, I had a nice card waiting for me from the mayor's wife. She told me if I would just repent of my sins, Jesus would heal me of the diabetes. I decided to stick with science. And Satan, I guess. In 1978, when I was diagnosed, they gave me a pee test to check my glucose levels. This is when I learned that I would pretty much always fail.
Fail.
I wasn't going to be good at this diabetic thing. I was going to be a total jerk about it. Stab. Oh, look, the biggest innovation since my diagnosis. It's a new technology to test your own blood sugar and fail 4 to 6 times a day. Stab. When I was a kid, I read Little Women, and I couldn't decide if I wanted to be the feisty and independent Jo or the romantic and sickly Beth, lounging in a beautiful peignoir while a devoted sister brushed my hair and cooed about how lovely and tragic I was. I had it wrong. The reality of chronic illness was so unglamorous, and in fact, if I had been Beth, created before the discovery of insulin, I definitely wouldn't have languished on the Chase Lounge for long. Stab. It's not so glamorous when the most frequent crisis is hypoglycemia caused by too much insulin. Quick, get me a Three Musketeers bar, I'm going to have a seizure. And the things people say, most of them well-intentioned. You stick yourself with needles? I could never do that. Yes, you could. Yes, you would. Stab, stab, stab. But my favorite was the woman who said, diabetes? My dog had that. We had to give him a shot every day. It was terrible. We finally had to give up and put him to sleep. 3 weeks of that was all we could take. Stab. I would also get compliments on my biceps, swollen with scar tissue from so many stabs. They don't know, so I just say thanks. When I was diagnosed, insulin cost $5 a bottle. I actually could almost afford to be me, even at minimum wage. Now I wear an insulin pump that requires tubes and whatnot, and the insulin that goes in it costs more than $800 a bottle. Stab. I have a husband who overcame a great fear of all things medical to be with me, even though I once accidentally squirted him in the eye with blood. Even though many times we have had to spend our last dollars for medical supplies. Insulin smells like Band-Aids, like hospitals. Clean and medical and money. Stab. I could tell you so many horror stories of American healthcare. Suffice it to say that for providers I am a steady source of income, and for insurers I am their worst nightmare. And then a couple years ago, things got really weird. It crept up on me, tingling, numbness in my legs. Of course I thought it was the diabetes. Nobody could imagine it might be anything else. But I was utterly fatigued. Walking was getting more and more difficult. I just kept going on with my life, pushing through what felt like resistance, like wading through deep jello. I had bouts of dizziness. In March, I had 3 sleepless nights. My legs. So much pain. All I could do was pace. On night 3, I went down the stairs in my house and couldn't get back up. I began to falling down at home, at school, at an academic conference in New Orleans. And yes, I know that face planting in New Orleans has a long tradition, but I was sober. Stabbing pain, burning pain, electrical shocks going up and down the arms. The worst was the sensation that I was wearing a bra strap made of barbed wire. A sensation I felt even when not wearing a bra at all. I went to many healthcare specialists. One of them suggested I get a helmet. I had no reflexes in my legs. I was too weak to stand up by myself, too stiff to tie my own shoes, and in too much pain to do anything or care about anything. And yet the drudgery of diabetes goes on through it all. Somehow I managed to stay alive. I knew I wasn't dying, but I kind of wanted to. From March until September, I was completely disabled. I was literally on my last nerve. Literally. So very literally. Finally, I found my way to a neurologist who was kind and curious. He immediately had a suspicion. I had a nerve conduction test. Stab.
Fail.
I had a lumbar puncture. Stab.
Fail.
He said my nerves were only firing at 1/3 strength. He said
You must be very frustrated.
he knew what was wrong with me. It was an entirely different disease from the diabetes. It has a catchy name. Chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy. It's very rare. It's autoimmune. So, there you go. Another one. My own immune system attacked my nerve endings and stripped them of their protective coating until they were just raw axons. This smart, compassionate doctor was beaming at me. There's a treatment! I was no longer capable of feeling hope or joy, and he could have known that, but he still looked disappointed. It's going to be a Lazarus effect, he said. You will throw down your cane. You will rise from your bed. You just have to take regular infusions of immunoglobulin through IV for the rest of your life. Stab. But he was right. I rose up from my bed. I climbed the stairs. Doing the stupidest things for myself gave me waves of ecstasy. Washing the dishes, doing the laundry, doing my job. I have a nurse who comes to my house every 3 weeks. We spend 2 mornings or 2 afternoons together while I infuse the antibodies collected from tens of thousands of people who sell their plasma to blood banks. I love those people. But of course, this is the US of A, so resurrection doesn't come cheap. Oh no, stab. I am the poster girl for pre-existing conditions. Because having a chronic illness in this country is like paying an extra tax for being alive, a tax that falls on you and your family. So every time I stab my voodoo doll self, I think of the people who stand in the way of universal health care in this country, and I curse them with every stab. Beyond that, I think what I've learned is to appreciate ambivalence and gratitude, and I have experienced gratitude on a cosmic level. It's like joy, but more complicated. It's a feeling that can overwhelm cynicism for a moment, and it's a gift that often comes sewn up with odd little buttons and awkward stitching. And you know, when I said I kind of wanted to die, I was lying. After all, I could die anytime I wanted to, but I don't. I'm an asshole, lousy, diabetic, polyglandular, autoimmune failure machine, but I just keep stabbing.